So I'm back out doing some more landscape photography. Just spotted a load of blackberries on the side on the way up. So that one don't look very nice, but gonna have a little snack on the way up, and then we're gonna head up to where that old building was that we videoed a month or so ago. We've got about 3 or 4 hours until the sun goes down, so I'm gonna have a bit more of a wander today. We can either go left and head towards Grizedale Forest, or right and try and go a bit higher. I haven't quite worked out what I want to do yet, so we'll get up there, see how it looks and make a decision from there. It's really pretty, but it's quite a flat light down there at the moment, so I'm kind of tempted to head towards Grizedale, but I do quite like climbing up high, so I think I'm going to climb up high. I think we can go down this far end, then there's a path off to the left and we can get up onto the top of this, and then we should get a view back towards where the last video was 2 videos ago, Wetherlam, the one that's right over there on the right hand side. So maybe if we do that, we can work out how feasible a skyline walk is. Looks pretty feasible from here. I reckon we can do that. Should go that way, up onto the top. I've done that before, and you can't actually see the water from up there. I've never been that way. Well, that answers that question. I've got a feeling I'm not actually going to get any pictures today. I've seen 2 compositions that I like, but the light isn't quite right. I think I pointed to that tree before, and I thought if I came up higher, we could get the tree, the stone wall, Coniston Water, and Torver Common off in the distance. But you can see all them things, but it's kind of boring today. Maybe if there was a bit more colour in the tree with some nice with some shadows and stuff, I guess. Just make it a bit more interesting. So, although it's not working now, it's something that we can come back to and not put much thought into on a day. Like, it makes it easier if you know that you're going to go to this spot, then to this spot, and then to this spot. Because during the sunrise and sunset, it's like a mad 30 minutes to an hour sometimes. So if you can take some of the thinking out of it, then that seems to help a lot. I've been walking for a little while and my plans have changed slightly since I started. We were going to go up onto the top of that one there, but I kept on coming this way, and I've found 2 or 3 compositions that I want to come back to. I'm just going to wait for some better light. It's still quite flat and grey down there, but I've been having to think about it on the way over, and some of you have been asking questions in the comments, and Steve Frith asked about if I keep mental notes or like physical notes of the places, and I tend to just keep mental notes, and I'll come to places like this, go for a wander around, find some compositions that'll work like on another day, and then just keep an eye out on the weather. If it looks like it's going to come in moody and I'm down in Coniston and I've got an hour or 2 spare, I can run up here quickly and I know some spots to go to that'll work, rather than like panicking and just choosing something at random that might not be the best idea. You're also asking about the lighting conditions, and I think it helps knowing where the sun is going to rise and set. I'm quite spoilt around here because I'm local to this, so I've been to the top of 6 of the ones that you can see behind me at sunset. So if I can see the top of one of these, I can work out where it's going to set, and because of that I can work out where it's going to rise as well. It's just the opposite direction. A lot of the time though, you do have to sort of just wing it on the day and keep an eye out for the weather. Like, it feels like it's going to chuck it down soon, so we could get some really dark and moody clouds come in. It's it looks like it's raining on the right hand side of Coniston Man. It's got hazy in there, so something could happen here. It could be a good thing, but it also could be a bad thing, because it could just start chucking it down in a minute, and it might just mean that we don't see anything after that. What I've shown you today is basically how I scout things out and make plans for other days. The only thing that I do differently is if I'm out on my own, I don't always bring this video camera. That means I don't say very much. I don't say anything at all usually, to be honest. I'm quite happy not saying anything all day. But it can be a good thing, putting your ideas out there, and it means that you think about things more. Like I was saying before about that rain, we've sort of got a rough plan of what could happen, and we can work around that, get a composition set up, and we can get a shot before the rain comes in. But at the same time, it can mean that you overthink things. I don't do very well when I think about things too much. I tend to like sticking with my initial first feeling. That tends to be the right one for me. Anything after that is just tends to be quite boring. And then composition wise, I tend to have something that I'm naturally excited about. I personally like climbing up high and looking down drops, so that's sort of how I've ended up at this top point here, because you get a view down onto Coniston Water and up to the other mountains. So I'd say find something that you like, keep an eye on the weather, and bear in mind where the sun is going to rise and set, because you can work out the steps along the way, and it just means you're more prepared. And the other thing is, if I do a scouting trip like this, I tend to bring more lenses than I actually need, because I tend to bring either the 24-70, the 100mm or the 135, and occasionally the 400. And say today, I've only used the 24-70, but there have been times here where I've used the 135 as well. So maybe it's only worth bringing those two lenses, but the scouting out trip is a good time to find that out. And then when you come to get the proper photos, you're ready and you're not carrying stuff just for the sake of it. I haven't taken any photos today. I'm just going to wait here and see what happens here. But I think what I want to do is come back here in autumn and do a sunrise, because the sun sets over on that side, sort of behind White Maiden there, and it'll rise over on this side, and it means that the sun is going to lift up here and it'll start lighting up this side of the valley. Then the face of the mountains will be lit up, the water will be lit up, and I think I prefer that. I generally don't like getting all of the direct colours from the sunrise and set. I find they can look a bit much, a bit too saturated, and I think the more subtle colours of getting it like that will work out better for me. And if I got the sunset here, this side of the valley is going to go into silhouette earlier. You can sort of see it already. There's not as much detail there now. So yeah, that's pretty much the way that I do it. And then after that, it's just keep going back to them places. I've been up Coniston Man about 30 times. So yeah, it's just keep an eye on the weather, repeating yourself, and eventually something will work out. But I hope you found that helpful, even though I didn't take any pictures today. I think next time I'm going to be up on Weatherlam again. That video should have uploaded today, but I'm going to take my dad up there. But if you want to see more videos, please hit the like button and subscribe. And if you've got any questions, leave them down in the comments, and I'll try and answer them as I'm solving them. Then I can show you what it's really like, rather than just doing the theory. I'm more of an experienced kind of person. I'm not book read, so I can show you it. I might not be able to explain it very well. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to wait here for a bit, keep looking over at them mountains and see if anything changes. I don't really have a good feeling about it, so hopefully this video will end with a picture, but we'll see now.